Hi, everybody. It is Monday night in the town that Disney built, so you know what time it is.
Information on celebration.
Well, I have been very blessed. I have a really great dream team. I wanted to thank them in particular because Rod and I were gone for about a week. Hey, David Talbert, David and Tammy from North Carolina. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I wanted to give a shout out as well to Chad and Gina that have been watching. And they said that they're going to be coming into town at the end of the month, and they watch every Monday night because they want to be purchasing in celebration at some point. So thank you to David and Tammy for watching as well. I appreciate that. Today was the first day of school for Celebration Kids. And so I remember that fondly. I don't know if you guys remember the stories, because if you haven't been to the Near Disney YouTube channel, please subscribe and like, because there's over 800 videos there. I'm a founding resident here. I've got lots of great stories. One of my favorites is that our daughter, Ashley, actually, this is a picture of her when she first moved here in Celebration. She was the youngest child to go to school here in the kindergarten. She was 4 going on 5. And now she is part of the creative team for Universal Studios. And many of you may know that my husband works for Walt Disney World. And it's cute because sometimes they can't talk about what they do when we're having dinner together. But today, hey, Elijah, but today is the first day of school. And so I recall taking Ashley to the school. And so now Virginia on our team, we call her Cinderella. Megan had her first day of school today. And so if you're friends of people on Facebook that live in Celebration, you'll know it's a big deal. It's really great to be able to see how the kids are growing up, and they'll post the whole little sign saying, I'm going into middle school this year, I'm going into high school. And Elijah and I, which big shout out to Elijah Lewis, because with us being gone for the week, you know who the captain of the team was. Elijah Lewis, yes. So he did our show for us all last week. Of course, I got great comments on how well he did in the team. You know, they have a show on Wednesday nights that talk about the 25-mile radius around Cinderella Castle. But tonight we're talking about Celebration specific. Elijah lives here. Virginia lives here. We call Elijah the Prince of Real Estate, and we call Virginia Cinderella. And I'm known as Fairy Godmother of Real Estate. So fun to see the kids going back to school here. I had the opportunity, because Elijah is so capable, that Rod and I jumped on a cruise ship. Sometimes it gets a little hot, and sometimes you just need a reset. And when you have a wonderful husband who has lots of wonderful vacation time saying, it's time to get on a boat, go float on a boat, we did. And it might not be a bad idea for me just to kind of tell you how easy it is. It's one of the perks of living in this town, is that you can, in about an hour, drive, park your car at Port Canaveral, and there's wonderful cruise ships. Obviously, Disney is my favorite. We did go on Royal Caribbean this time, and we've been on it twice now, and it's called Utopia of the Seas. It's a massive city. It's almost like it's a destination to itself. So it wasn't so much where you're going as opposed to which ship are you taking, and then having a great room with a balcony to look at the water, to cool off, to just get away. And like I said, reset. That's the time that I find that I have the most creative time. And we really did enjoy it. Wonderful restaurants that are on that boat, very affordable. And what you don't have to be concerned about is if you live anywhere else and you have to fly in order to jump on a cruise ship. A lot of times you're stressed there because you may think, what if my flight is canceled? Or if you have a connector, how difficult it can be, because you want to make sure you get here maybe the night before so you don't miss your cruise the next day. We don't have that problem here, right? We just know we got to get in the car and have about an hour's drive. Hey, Amy. Hey, Amy. Amy, actually, I call her my adopted little sis. But Amy owns Scoop Ice Cream that is in Celebration. And Amy, they should have your ice cream on all the Royal Caribbean cruise ships. I said that to Rod when we were there. They should have it everywhere, but in particular, they should have it there. So just know, big perk, being able to drive over there. Usually, they're last minute deals too. Like if you wait and you think, okay, maybe I can go next week, you can go on their sites and see if they have special rates, which is awesome. And like I said, it's a destination ship. So wonderful restaurants to choose from, entertainment. I sing, I'm a singer. So I showed up at one of the karaoke things and it was a lot of fun. I was the last singer and they had people that just automatically jumped up on the stage with me and were dancing. And it was fun. It was so much fun. Now, Royal Caribbean has a casino. Disney does not. So that's one point of differentiation. And one of hey, Randy, hey, Amy, thanks again for watching. One of my fond memories of my mother and my mother-in-law was that they like to play slot machines every once in a while, but they would be very conservative with their slot machines. They would find the one that you didn't have to pay a lot for and just sit there for a long time and they would accumulate points. And so I thought I'm going to do that because we were on Royal Caribbean. They had a casino. Well, I won. Now, I wouldn't say it was huge numbers, but it definitely was entertaining. And then what happens is Royal Caribbean will look at how much time that you were spending in the casino and sometimes send you now free cruises in the future because they're hoping that you're going to go back there. Well, I know you guys are going to laugh, but my maximum bet, I think that I think it was $1.25. And yes, I think it was $1.25 because it's a penny machine. But at the end of the evening, would maybe put $100 in and be walking out of there with $250. I felt like that was good return. And I felt like it was a lot of fun. So it was called, because they only have one of them, let me tell you, because, I try to share as much good news as I can tell you. It has a little skunk on it, and it was called Stinkin' Rich, I think. Stinkin' Rich. That one worked for me. So anyway, that is something. And if you need a good travel agent recommendation, Rob and Carrie Stewart have done great for us. Just give me a text or a call, 407-808-9845. I'll be happy to connect you with them. They have traveled all over the place, and they're really go-to people of ours. They're also clients of ours. They bought a house through us, and we absolutely love to recommend them because they are spot on great with what they do. All right, so what have we talked about? We've talked about thank you to my team for taking care of great things. Talked about first day of school. Elijah and I had the honor of representing the assistant principal for the K through 8 school, Rose, Dr. Rose and Chris. And they're not leaving Celebration. If anybody is watching from Celebration, they've just moved around the corner. That's what happens mainly in Celebration. People don't usually leave. They'll just kind of move around. And that's what actually Rod and I have done. I want to say we've done about 7 different properties because we're almost on our 30th anniversary of Celebration. So you can see how that would possibly work. Yeah. So this week, I want to give a happy birthday to Ashley, our daughter. Her birthday is on Wednesday. I'm looking at her thinking that she's still 5. She's not 5 anymore. She's in her 30s, but I wanted to give a big happy birthday shout out to her. Okay, so today what I'd like to concentrate on is, and it's because it's coming up a lot lately, I think people are seeing that the teapot is getting ready to, the top's getting ready to blow. And what do I mean by that? I mean that there's going to be an interest rate drop here at some point. Maybe the expectation is maybe September. and there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to be coming in the market that want to purchase something, right? So in celebration, which I'll share with you later, because we always will let you know what's been going on the last 7 days in our market. I'll tell you now, there's only 91 listings in the town that Disney built, Celebration. That is very little inventory because that includes everything from condos up to a $5.5 million estate. So there's a wide range. But let's say if you come to us and say, I have $500,000 to spend, we're going to tell you there's just very little inventory to pick from. And so now what's happening is there's some Celebration residents that are saying, I would consider getting ready to sell my house, possibly to move to another Celebration house, but it's too complicated. I can't figure it out. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a video that my dream team did that will help you figure out some of the things you should do when you're starting to prep. And maybe it's not prepping a home here. This applies to prepping a home anywhere. I thought they did a fantastic job. It was on their Wednesday night show. Like I said, if you don't watch Wednesdays at 7 p.m., you're really missing out because they bring a lot of good content there. But what I wanted to share are some secret weapon kind of stuff that I recommend for anybody. One thing what I would do is I would say always kind of be in prep mode, especially in the summer months when it's hot and you don't want to go outside here. Maybe look at a room, spend a week, have a little plan and say, I want to declutter this room, or I want to prepare that if I was getting ready to move, what would I be boxing up and what would I absolutely need to keep out? Because one of the things that Virginia Cinderella will tell you is when you go to sell your house, you want to have as little in your house as possible. It's going to make your house look bigger. Plus, it's going to help you with your peace of mind that you've already got a lot of things boxed up. Now, rule of thumb could be, hey, do I want to keep it? Or is this a memory piece that I might be able to just take a picture of so I can have it, but I don't need it? I'll take a picture of it. Do I want to donate it or do I want to toss it? Now, I'm going to give you my secret weapon, name and number of somebody that if you're in Celebration, this would help. If you get to that stage and you think, I'm going to go ahead and try to box up as much, donate, all that fun stuff, possibly put it in storage in preparation so that if you want to sell your home, it's going to be much easier to say to somebody, go to that storage unit, then take everything and move it to my new house. There's a gentleman by the name of Veeder. Elijah's watching, so he'll know. And actually, I probably should keep his name and number secret, but I can't do that for our audience. I'm going to put up his telephone number. Let's see if I can do that. We are going to put this, we're going to share a screen so that you guys can see. Yes, here we go. Well, I think we're going to do it. Peter, where'd you go? Okay, here he is right here, full screen. All right, so Peter. Okay, everybody needs a beater. Beater is a gentleman that I trust, that I've given him the key to my house and said, I need you to go in and get all these boxes and put them in storage for me. Now, another option, he charges, just to give you an idea for your budgeting, $75 an hour. But what he can do in an hour compared to what I can do in an hour, or even my family do in an hour, he is a professional and knows how to move this stuff so quickly, very fast, very fast. He's also the guy that if you say this needs to go to the dumpster, it needs to go to he can take that stuff for you. He's got a vehicle that he can load. He can, if you say, I want it to go to a donation area, he's the guy. He really is the guy. But his number's right here, 407-761-7444. Another option is maybe if you go to the U-Haul area in Celebration, which is off of Celebration Boulevard when you're going towards the high school, you'll be surprised how affordable it is to rent one of these very long U-Haul trucks for a week, for 2 weeks, whatever it is. And so what you want to do is after you get enough boxes, maybe what you do is you pull that truck in front of your home, you load it up with as much as you possibly can, right? And then take it to the storage if you like. Or if you're able, if you have a place that you can then go park that truck that you feel comfortable, obviously, right? You could do that as well. But it's kind of nice knowing, it's kind of like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? So you want to start decluttering, getting stuff out of your house, preparing, so that when you do make that decision, when you know that the market's right, that it's time for you to put your house on the market, it doesn't become overwhelming. And there's tools. The tools would be my team, myself, helping you to get it listed, Beater helping to get things moved out so you don't feel like you're moving all that stuff out. And then you may have questions about, do I need to paint the house or do some things like that? Now, I did want to share, and what I may do is when the video is running, I've got a couple of recommendations. There's a gentleman by the name of JR Painting My Life Away. JR is fabulous. I had represented the CEO of Walt Disney World for many years, and he had gone through different painters, and it wasn't until I found JR that he was very happy with JR, because JR knows how to cut in the right angles, knows how to keep things nice and clean, does a really great job. So I will share his name and number too. You didn't realize you're going to get all these great resources tonight, did you? Well, let's do this. I want you to see the show that my team put together, How to Best Prepare, and then I'll be back because I want to answer some more questions and keep talking about some other exciting things. One thing in particular would be, what happens if you sell your house too fast and you haven't found the house that you want to buy yet? Got an idea? Okay, enjoy this.
So Virginia, you have some tips for maximizing price and what a home seller can do to command the best and highest price for their listing.
Yeah, absolutely. We always want to encourage our sellers to, like Elijah said, maximize what their home has to offer. So there are just a few projects that you can tackle yourself before you decide to put your home on the market that will definitely have a large impact in the selling process. So some quick fixes. I like how this graphic has split into two things. Some things you can do kind of lickety split, and then the other things might take a little more time, but definitely still worth doing. So as far as the quick fixes, things you can do are wash the windows, just make everything just sparkling inside, do a deep clean, declutter. I can't say declutter enough. I mean, it really makes a difference when the showings, when you go into a home and everything is kind of just not a lot of extra stuff around, just what you need, especially if you're still living in the home. Just decluttering really, really makes a huge impact. And then minimalizing, I guess, pet paraphernalia. Maybe you just don't want to draw attention to lots of stuff around the home.
Well,
Some of the weekend projects.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was to say, like, sometimes we get so used to the stuff, we get so used to the clutter that we don't really see it, we don't notice it, we don't know what it's like to be a pair of fresh eyes walking into the home and how you receive that, and especially when you kind of have like a subliminal, emotional, personal bond with that stuff. So it's like, you know, like your own don't stink kind of thing, as far as like your smell, but with like your lovely cats that you love so much. But like, I can't tell you how often that the pet paraphernalia, like there's a big cat tree that can, you know, I mean, half the time the cats don't even use that dang thing.
Exactly.
And so it's okay, maybe move it into the garage, move it in the space under the stairs or something like that as part of decluttering. And when you said wash the windows, and I'll just say real quick, actually that sounds maybe just like a whatever thing, but like most people don't do that. and it makes such a difference, especially if your windows aren't, you're not selling windows that are brand new. Make those old original windows look as appealing as you can, because that comes up, especially if they're single pane here in Florida. If you can just make them look nice, maybe they're going to be seen as being acceptable. But just no, people just don't go outside and in, get that grime, get that dirt, get that get that filter off it, and it'll just subliminally make the house feel so much better to be inside.
It really does, definitely. Yeah, that's a good point. So back to this, and you know, those are things that we as realtors will go in, you know, when we're preparing the listing, and we'll see those things that maybe, you know, we'll make suggestions to the sellers to move certain things and take some things down, and so it is, again, it's good to have a fresh set of eyes to come in, like non-biased, being like, this would look better this way. We're always here to help with those kind of things. Some of the larger projects that maybe might take several days, applying a fresh coat of paint, and not necessarily to the whole entire house, maybe to just certain places that need it. If you can't do the whole house, upgrading cabinetry, and that means maybe upgrading some of the hardware if it's kind of been, like, you know, has wear and tear on it. Things like that would make a difference in a kitchen or a bathroom. Adding a backsplash if you don't have one, or maybe just doing a deep clean on the backsplash. Just all those kind of things that over time, with lots of usage in the kitchen, can get kind of grimy. And obviously you want to address any pests, you know, ants, or, you know, any of the little Florida pests that seem to come around in our lovely state. And then I love to increase the curb appeal with landscaping, because really when you drive up to a property and it looks beautiful from the outside, it just sets the tone for how you're going to feel when you walk indoors. So yes, these are all just
I was just talking to someone who's putting gardenia bushes in front of their home today, and it's going to make a big difference in that curb appeal, I'm sure. But yeah, I do like that when you say, like, sometimes you can't, there's no budget to update the whole kitchen, or it's like, I'm not going to beautify the house that I'm moving out of because I'm not going to live here anymore to enjoy these improvements. But little things can just make a tiny thing. Like I like how you said the hardware on the cabinets, instead of maybe doing a whole expensive brand new solid wood cabinet job. Find, like, what's the most modern. If is it the gold hardware now, then maybe get rid of your silver knobs and put some gold knobs. Or do people like those long things that you pull out instead of the knobs anymore? Like I have those handles.
Oh, the bars.
Or like the half moon pulls. I mean, there's all sorts of.
Yeah, so just little things like that. And the backsplash, rather than doing the countertops over again, if you just put the backsplash on, that's probably less expensive than getting granite or quartz. With the just little things that help it sell. But it'll all be on a case by case basis, and we kind of help advise. If you ask for our feedback, we'll try to tell you what's the most economic way, because I mean, we're not going to tell you to, oh, wouldn't it be nice if you totally updated your home and that would make it so much easier for us to sell. No, we want it to be just the cut and dry need to do, that's just bare minimum, so that you get that thing sold by putting as little money in it as you have to. But sometimes if it's a cluttered market, it's kind of the inventory is kind of raising out there, we do maybe creative about some stuff like that.
Yeah, with that, apply a fresh coat of paint. The other thing that kind of goes with that is I always notice smudges on door jambs and on doors, and dirty knobs on your doors. And that's something you don't necessarily, I mean, so much anymore, you can wipe that stuff down. You know, if you have a decent cleaner that's not too, you know, harsh, and it makes everything look so much better. So just like the paint. Yeah, I agree with that.
You need to, sometimes the sellers need to impress the buyers as much as the house does, because if they see like that something's neglected or something's dirty or not dusted, or if the vents in the air ducts are full of like lint and dust bunnies or something, it just makes them think like, this house is very well maintained. I wonder what's wrong with it that I don't immediately notice.
Right.
And are there going to be other like little creeping problems that could come up? Because now, but when they see that, I really respect the seller, the owner really took pride in taking care of this place, and that level of ease could be the threshold of like, well, I think this might be the one to go with because I kind of have a good feel here. I kind of trust the people who I'd be working with, that they are giving me a good house that's not going to give me problems later. So that was about the meat of what we had to talk about here. Appreciate anyone who commented. And of course, the comment section goes on forever. That's why our phone numbers are here. So you can reach us with any questions about Central Florida real estate. We are 25 miles of Cinderella's castle radius. So, I mean, it's not just Celebration where we had that listing or anything. We want to connect you with just all things that are near to Disney. So we would love to represent you if any of us spoke to you while you were watching today. And we'd appreciate if you'd hit the like button. Helps us out big time with boosting this to other people on YouTube so they can find us and get helped. Someone actually just called this week who had watched our show, and if you tuned in tonight, thank you so much, Eric. So glad I had the chance to meet you watching from out of state when you were in the area. So glad to know you guys are really watching, that we really get the chance to meet with you and show you homes from all over the country. So that's great. So appreciate when you subscribe, and that helps out big time. So with that, I'll throw it over to Kim Hawk, the fairy godmother of real estate, to send us off. Take care, everyone.
Make sure that you subscribe and like.
Did they do a great job? I thought that was so helpful, the information they had. I wanted to say as well, it's wonderful that someone had called as well for Virginia, and someone had called for Sue this morning that watches the show as well, and Elijah. So I know that they are very well loved, and a lot of it has to do with they're just giving. They're just wanting to give you so much helpful information. So like I said, Wednesday nights, really helpful. So back to when you are prepping a house to sell, or actually this is going to be helpful for you guys too if you're buying, because many times you might be buying a house and you're like, I just really want fresh paint in the house before I move in, because after you move into that house, most people do not go back in and repaint their house. I would probably say less than 1%. So this is exciting. I wanted to announce, I've been working on this since January. This is going to be coming out in the mail to Celebration residents. It's the 2025 Dining Guide. It's never been done before. We had an artist that we had custom this artwork, Hubert. He is from France, an incredible artist. And you'll notice he put a girl on a bicycle with a dog in the basket because that's very Celebration-like. And then you'll see the white picket fence. So for those of you who, I think it's going out the end of this week. If you don't have them by next week, I would like you to text me and let me know where we can send it to. But in here, it's full of really a lot of good stuff. Like I said, it's taken, 8 months to get this out. I'll probably do it again next year, but it will not take that long, because what we did, we have different categories. So we put cheeseburger. And so those would be places where you can get a really good burger, like the Celebration Brewing Company, the Celebration Downtown Diner, of course, the Windmill Tavern, which is the golf course, Celebration Town Tavern, Five Guys, the owners of Five Guys, they live in Celebration. And so we put the address and the telephone number there. We also have a category that says, where's the beef? Where's the beef? And so many of you know one of our favorite restaurants is Charlie's Steakhouse, which is right across from Celebration. It's kind of a special occasion place. I think of it more like the birthday place or that kind of stuff, but very nice. And then, of course, all these other restaurants below that, because if you think about it, Disney, we purchase land from the Disney organization. So we are within driving distance, easy peasy, in order to get to like the Yachtman Steakhouse. And so I'm just reminding you, look at all the choices. lots of choices. And then we have a category called Now That's Italian. And of course, I'm going to have Reggiano's on top of there. And of course, Flipper's Pizza, because Flipper's Pizza, they live in Celebration, wonderful people that you can get pizzas delivered to you, and lots of wonderful options there. Something called the Far Far East for those folks that like sushi and maybe even I'm pretty sure like Kobe Japanese, which is across from Celebration. There's something called Under the Sea for seafood, for all the seafood lovers. Of course, Celebration Town Tavern. You got to make sure you try their seafood. A bit of pixie dust, because they call me the fairy godmother of real estate. These are the combination of things that didn't necessarily fit into a category, but everything from Citrico's, which is at Disney, to the Edison, which is at downtown with Disney Springs. We have something called diners, wine cafes, delis, cupcakes, cookies, coffee. Oh my. And so that would be like the Celebration Downtown Diner, the Celebration Wine Imperium. Love them. They are great, wonderful residents here that have also been big sponsors of some very worthy causes. And I actually get to work with Leanne. We do an event, the Celebration Women's Club. It's usually around February or March, where we do a nice event where we're raising money for a women's shelter. And Leanne and the Celebration Wine Imperium are a part of that. We have something called Cuban cuisine, and how about some Mexican chips and salsa? So a lot of you will know Columbia Restaurant that's in town, but we have a brand new Mexican restaurant as well that is over in Island Village, and that's called Tacos Don Andres, and it's got their telephone number. And then we have something called Ice Cream You Scream. We all scream for ice cream. And don't you know, at the top of that list, Scoop Ice Cream, where they make homemade ice cream. In Celebration, they also have gluten-free and sugar-free. And then I'm going to be thanking my sponsors as we go each week, but in particular, Painting My Life Away. Once you get this, if you ever need his telephone number, you'll see that JR's number is right there. So JR is 407-908-3671, 407-908-3671. So there is a painter that I definitely highly recommend that you're going to be getting this dining guide. If you're thinking about moving to Celebration and would like one of these dining guides, feel free to text me as well, and I'll get one in the mail to you. Like I said, it was a labor of love. And then what we're going to do is we're going to encourage everybody to, if you visit any of the restaurants, we're going to ask you if you want to do a hashtag Homes with Kim Hawk. Whoever does the most hashtags by the end of the year is going to win a cool prize. I wonder if it's going to be a gift card for a restaurant. I think so. But this will also give you a QR code so that you can link to our Near Disney YouTube channel. So we got so much we're talking about tonight. I know. All right. So painting. Now, one thing that I want to point out too, let's say you want to sell your house in Celebration and you're thinking, I want to be ready, but I don't want to sell my house until I know of something that I want to buy. But you're concerned because you know that if you wait and the house that you want to buy comes up and your house hasn't sold, many times, 95% of the time, folks will have to sell their house before they can buy that other house. And this really isn't a market that you can do that. Most people will not take a contingency of your house selling before they'll put it under contract. So if we go back to that idea of boxing everything that you possibly can, you've got Veter, my secret weapons, name and number now, to help you get that stuff boxed up, put into a storage unit. Then there's these really cool things that really are kind of special that are involved in Osceola County. And they are short-term vacation rental homes. I want to give you an example of one. Here we go. So for example, let's say that you've packed everything with the exception of some of your clothes, a toothbrush, toothpaste, and you're saying, I want to go live in a vacation rental home that's only going to commit me. Sometimes it's only like a week, but you're probably going to say a month or a couple of months, right? So here's an example of a really beautiful one that's not far from Celebration. It's in an area called Emerald Isle. But look how you can move. I'm going to show you pictures. See, this one has a swimming pool, fully furnished. A lot of times they take the garages and they'll put a pool table. You can see this one even has a poker table and like a hockey game. And then look how nice the kitchen. It looks brand new, really spectacular, nicely, lots of upgrades. And so perhaps it might have 5 bedrooms or 6 bedrooms, but there's many of these. This one in particular, if you have interest, because look how pretty it is. Look at it. It's all remodeled. I want to say this is one of the larger ones, but depending upon what time of year that you're looking, it may just be, $16.50 a week to rent this. Now, for you not to have a long-term commitment of renting something for a year and then possibly being back in that cycle of, gosh, I'm owing for a year, so I don't want to move because I'm renting, why not do a monthly or weekly vacation rental close to Celebration while you're waiting? And then you can feel like you're on vacation. And a lot of these are still in the school district of Celebration because this is 34747. I'm going through the photos pretty quick. But if anybody also, sometimes you may have family and friends that want to come visit you. These are great opportunities, you guys, because if you look at 6 nights and if you were going to want to stay in a Disney hotel or any of the hotels, you're going to pay a lot more, especially if you have a couple of bedrooms that you need. This is going to have ample bedrooms, TVs everywhere, swimming pool. It's in a gated community. If you don't know where Emerald Island is, it's not far from where the new pickleball place is called Crush. Rod and I are starting to do that on Wednesday nights. Love it. Get some exercise. But you can see this is just super well done. So don't be worried about all these details. Know that we do this day in, day out. We can help you. We would love to help you. Now, I think the next thing that people want to talk about is what's happened in this market for the week, because I know I'm going a little bit long. But I know the Women's Club is meeting tonight. Don't forget about Celebration Women's Club. And don't forget about Celebration Social Club, too. If you go to the Facebook group Celebration Social, if you want to get connected into this community, that is a great way to do it. Just tell them that you saw this on the show, the Near Disney show, and they'll know you're legit so they can accept you into that group. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to put, let's see, we are going to, put me back up there. And then I want to share my screen. Share my screen. Okay. I'm going to share my screen on what's been going on the last 7 days in Celebration. And you will see what the market's been doing. Okay. And D. Bellavati, thank you for helping me with all this good stuff. He always says to blow up my face a little bit bigger so you can see my lips when I'm talking. All right, there we go. So in Celebration, like we said, there's only 91 active listings. That's not many. In the normal days of Celebration, we'd have 440 listings. So inventory is limited. So anything that you're reading about Orlando and the prices are going down stuff, it doesn't happen in Celebration, probably because of the Disney connection, the branding, that we have a bustling downtown that has incredible restaurants, just like I mentioned to you. Look at all these great options. And you're going to love feeling like you live where everybody else vacation, right? So what I'm looking at on this screen, the last 7 days, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new actives. That's quite a bit for this week. Normally, I've only been seeing about 3 or 4, but inventory's dropped more. So 3 pendings, and 2 solds. So as far as who was in the market to purchase this week, it looks like the highest price point was this one. So this is one of our listings. Very proud to represent this gorgeous home. It was 784 Oak Shadows Road. It was listed for $1,695,000. Now, the reason why I say that is because sometimes people are like, why wasn't my house shown or whatever? And we can say, hey, we know that buyers up to this price point this past 7 days were. So if you had a listing that was $3 million, they weren't active this past week. But if you had a buyer in the $1.7 million range, yes, indeed. And we're very blessed that we are able to put this house under contract, and we're excited about the buyer that's coming in. They're very excited about it. And so know that that was 3,519 square feet, and it has a pool, and it had a separate yard that has fruit trees on it. So it has like banana, lime, and avocado, which is kind of cool. And lots of entertainment areas. It has screened in porch that overlooks conservation in the front, look like a model. And so that price was $481.67 a square foot. Now they're going to get that because it's been remodeled, it's new, it's got the pool, it's on an oversized lot in Celebration. It's within walking distance of downtown. So when you come to us, we'll explain to you the nuances, because I know sometimes when people are saying, I'm only interested in price per square foot. Well, I get that. I'm from Northern Virginia originally, but here you've got to look at location, what type of improvements. Do they have a wraparound porch? Is it a 3-car garage or a 2-car garage? Does it have an apartment over top of the garage that produces income into it? This one has all of that. This one also has a primary residence. So it went fairly quick. And so I would share with you, if you find that you like something, definitely call us, because we can give you an idea if we think if it's overpriced or not overpriced, if it's fair price. This one was fair priced, had lots of activity on it, and it's understandable. All right, guys, I'm looking at my other things. I think next week I want to try to give a little bit of a help to first-time home buyers, not necessarily saying that you're going to have a lot of first-time home buyers that are in Celebration that can be helped, but some of you out there may have young folks that are looking not to be renting or staying in your home anymore, and you're saying, I'd like to help my child find their own place. Well, I can tell you no better time than now, because there's some government offerings that have not been available. And I've got some lenders that I'd like to introduce you to help your kids. Okay? I think that's it. I'm sorry I went on for a while, but I've missed you guys. I hope to see you around town. Don't forget, Monday nights, 7 p.m., we talk about Celebration. Wednesday nights, we talk about the 25-mile radius around Cinderella Castle. That's with Elijah, Virginia, and Sue. And then on Fridays, we do an evergreen show that hopefully will just be up in the cloud forever and ever, and hopefully be able to help everyone as much as we can. All right. I don't think I see any questions. I see some thumbs up and thank yous. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let us know too, like if you're not finding a video, because we have over 800, that you think you would like to get some more information. I'm seeing, okay, hold on a second. Carol. Okay, Carol's saying she would like to see a video to help her kids. Okay, yeah. So I did have somebody else ask that question too, Carol. So what I think I might do is I might sit in my studio and give some recommendations on, if I was a first-time home buyer, what kind of offerings are out there right now. Hey, Tara. So glad that you're watching. What kind of offerings are out there? And you guys know, as a first-time home buyer, it doesn't necessarily mean you're 20 years old. First-time home buyers can be somebody who have not purchased something in the last 3 years. You've been renting, or, sometimes somebody's overseas and then they come back. And as long as they haven't had a foreclosure in the last 3 years, or they haven't purchased, they're going to be considered a first-time home buyer. And there's some really great government assistance money that's available right now, and it's only available for a short period of time. It's in Osceola County and Orange County. So Carol, thank you. I will do a video and post that. So hopefully that'll help. All right. Well, happy birthday once again to Ashley Elizabeth. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Make sure that you subscribe and like so that we can continue to give you up-to-date information on all things that are going around the 25-mile radius of Cinderella's castle, because this is truly a magical place to live.